Apocalypse fantasy nobody admits to.
If the zombie apocalypse can never happen, how come there are so many tutorials on how to survive it? The truth is that we humans want an apocalypse to happen. Zombie ones are just the cooler ones. But then we get to the real question of why humans have this weird escapist fantasy for a world that is objectively terrible. While a lot of the scenes from The Last of Us do look stunning, it's not like we didn't just watch a person being torn apart. And the reason why we still yearn for that type of world is because we were never meant to live in this one. The modern world is fast, complex, and it puts you in a box that you can hardly step out of. It is a world built for productivity, efficiency, and constant consumption, not human well-being. When you wake up,
Facts.
you pick up your phone and it hasn't even been a minute, but you're already engaging with people, entertainment, and the news, all before you have even had a chance to step out of bed. In today's world, it's almost impossible
This is a great fucking dog and a horrible fucking movie. This movie traumatized the living fuck out of me when I was young, bro.
to be bored or to reflect on yourself and life as a whole. We live in a fast, complicated mess of constant consumption, work, and stress. It is to a point almost inhuman. It kills creativity and originality. You do have technical freedom, but for most people, that freedom just means the freedom to go on a short vacation once a year. We feel that we have freedom, but at the end of the day, you still have to wake up at 6 a.m. and take the
Yeah,
bus to go
shit.
do something that you don't want to do. So the one for an apocalypse is simply a natural response. It is escapism to a place that seems simpler, calmer, and just better to live in. A post-apocalyptic world is void of distractions and it allows you to slow down. So instead of driving your car to work while listening to music and scrolling on your phone while stressing out about work or school, in a post-apocalyptic world you would be riding a horse through a overgrown neighborhood pondering the meaning of life, or eating beans while watching a movie in your bunker without a care for the world. This is why a post-apocalyptic
I got beans. I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb,
world is so appealing. It is a contrast to the modern world and way of life. When fantasizing, we perceive it to be peaceful, calm, and most of all free. You don't have to pay the bills or answer to a boss you hate. You don't have the ability to rot your brain anymore, because those predatory systems are simply gone. So at the start of an apocalypse,
Cause that's some real shit though. Cause for real, it's like I feel like we as humans we get so fucking overwhelmed, bro. Like with everything going on, like we never like our brain can never just zen, bro. I don't care. And like that's why I remember I had a situation last year where I got very, very close to that zen state and I legit cried. No bullshit, no getting off, no smile. I dead ass cried, bro. Like, and I don't even feel like truly reached zen, bro. I remember I was just chilling, and it was on some simple shit. I was there, I was sitting outside my apartment, and I just sat down. And my neighbors, for the first time in like a million years, was not making noise. And like, all that was happening, the cars just ran past, and I was just sat there, and the sun was about to go down. Like, what would you call it, the golden hour? The sun was going down. I remember just chilling there. No mosquitoes was trying to eat my ass. And I just sat there. No phone. Sat there. And then I started crying, bro. I got sloppy out there, bro. Like, it was embarrassing, bro. Like, damn. But my point is, like, we crave that, bro. But, like, the world makes it so impossible to do that. I don't care how good your life is, how simple your life may be. This world is designed now to always have you on edge, bro. You always feel behind. You always feel like you fucking up. You always feel like you gotta keep up with everyone, bro. You know what I mean? Like you never could feel like like I just even like you watch TV, you decide, you know what, today is my chill day. You still low key thinking about shit. And the back of your brain, I don't care how chill you are, you still thinking, damn, I low key wasting time, bro. Like for real, bro. And that is crazy, bro. That is dead ass insane, bro. And I feel like as humans, we hate that shit, bro. I feel like that's a part of our makeup, so we always gonna kind of feel like that. But I don't think our bodies were really made for how the world is now, low key. I feel like we kind of overdid it. You know what I mean?
Apocalypse might seem horrifying, it is also all of those modern obligations we hate just falling away. You realize that there's no more work or school, that there's no more need to fit within the system because the system is gone. I think the best example of a life in an apocalypse that everyone would want is the one that Robert Neville lives during the first half hour of I Am Legend, where he has a healthy routine and his day is calm and even. Well, it does go down in the gutter later in the movie, it does mainly happen so the story gets interesting. In a post-apocalyptic world, the result and gratification of your work would be instant and very real. It would be more primal, like needing to go hunting every day, and that's exactly what makes it that much more appealing. And hunting doesn't have to mean hunting an animal in a forest, it could be hunting for a new TV or hunting for some Twinkies. The hunter-gatherer way of life would return, so while it would be more primitive, that's the life humans were originally supposed to live. And you don't have to worry about getting the new iPhone or buying the latest trendy clothing. All you have to worry about is staying alive, which in most scenarios is actually possible, since you wouldn't have to be the main character. There would be no constant flow of news and worries. There would be no more laws and order, which is scary, but it also means that you can now deal with your annoying neighbor like you always wanted to. Moreover, it is also quite ironic that most of us definitely wouldn't survive the apocalypse, least of all the ones working a regular office job in a big city. But that's why it is a fantasy and not something that we literally wish for. The thing everyone looks to the most in this type of scenario is not having to work a job or go to school anymore. And honestly, I can't recount how many times I've been sitting in class and just wishing to hear that there is a new pandemic or something like that. That's why this is one of the main factors which makes fantasy of an apocalypse appealing. The fact that you don't have to wake up early anymore and go do something you hate. The traditional way of life is over and you can finally live a life where you matter and you yourself can create meaning within. That's the gist of what makes this tragic fantasy of a post-apocalypse actually appealing and not something only weird people think about. Although humans are weird by nature, so hey, it's probably all messed up anyway. Though there is still something I haven't covered. That's the question of why am I only talking about a post-apocalyptic world? Why does this escapist idea only really apply to an apocalyptic event? I believe that the answer lies within people's motivations and willingness to act in their best interests, because even in today's world, you can do things that will lead to a slower and calmer life, but a lot of people just don't have the drive to achieve it. And that's why the idea of this lifestyle being forced on us is much more appealing. To have something external just wash everything away, to have the world change in order to accommodate itself to you. And this apocalyptic fantasy is also so much better than ones like time travel because you still reside within the modern world. It's not like living in the 16th century without modern technology. Moreover, because
Wait, I feel like living in the 16th century must have fucking sucked, bro. Like damn, like Jesus Lord.
as the apocalypse happens in the present, it's a point of grounding, and it seems more realistic. We can all imagine and somewhat expect a new virus outbreak, nuclear war, or a big solar flare, but we can't imagine
Oh yeah. I wasn't expecting that shit. When do we come to this conclusion, nigga?
Doc Brown suddenly jumping out of his DeLorean one day and inviting us to an adventure, or finding E.T. in a forest where he then takes us to his spaceship. The way I'm making the apocalypse sound makes it seem like I'm talking about a paradise, but I assure you that I am not. It's simply that an apocalypse is an incredibly realistic event.
It's been confirmed that a new virus that has killed 3 people and has been spreading across China can be passed from person to person, not just from animals. More than 200 people have been infected with the virus that causes breathing problems. The World Health Organization has said it will hold an emergency meeting on the outbreak later this week.
And we humans have a way of fantasizing about these things and ignoring the hardships that would actually come with them. Most of the stories that take place within a post-apocalyptic world have a happy ending. So I Am Legend, for example, where Robert Neville does make peace with the Darkseekers and even coexist with them for quite a while. And The Walking Dead, where Rick Grimes manages to survive all the way till the end. And that's the survivorship bias that we get after watching this media, that makes us think that we could also survive and achieve a life in the apocalypse, because the guy on the screen we relate to did it too. This is why these escapist fantasies aren't as popular with things like time travel or aliens, because those are just that much more unlikely. I know that an alien apocalypse does also cause an alien post-apocalypse, so while it fits, it's not the main point. And that is why a lot of us humans
Wait, E.T. put me through that old shrivelly little shit. What the flip that put me through it, bro. Oh my god.
kind of secretly hope to live in a post-apocalypse from time to time. I think that some post-apocalypses would be actually kind of pleasant, provided that you survive them, like the one in The Last Man on Earth, and some that would be totally and utterly horrible to live in, like the one from Fallout or Metro. But where I think the genre really peaks is the ones that are both bad and good. So The Walking Dead, I Am Legend, The Last of Us, and Zombieland, which coincidentally are all based on zombies, which just perfectly explains why zombies are the perfect catalyst for post-apocalyptic worlds. Personally, whenever I found myself thinking about wanting a zombie apocalypse to happen, I was very puzzled, because in of itself it is a bad thing, but when you look at it from an objective point of view and take into account human nature, it is only a kind of release valve for all of the problems that we have in the modern world. It's as they say, the grass is always greener. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section